Bookkeepers for real estate investors. Hello. I hope you guys are doing well this week. We got the question from kind of like why, so our company, Time Capital Bookkeeping and CFO Solutions, why don't we offer certain things? And so this video is essentially about what services we do not offer and why. So as a company. So we don't offer any tax services, so no tax returns, no 1099 filing. We give our clients the information they need from QuickBooks to file their 1099s or to give to someone else to file their 1099s, but we don't do any filing currently. We don't do any official tax planning, tax strategy. So, I have conversations with our clients and, we talk about tax strategies and that sort of thing, but none of it is official advice. So it's just, I tell them kind of what I'm doing for my real estate investments and for our businesses. But we just kind of have a casual conversation about it. It's not official advice. I give them some things to ask their CPA, their tax strategist, their advisor, who does that in an official capacity for them. So hopefully that makes sense. And I make it very clear they know that it's not advice, just recommendations, just questions to ask. We don't conduct or process any payroll. So obviously a lot of our clients do have payroll. They have W-2 employees, mostly contractors, but some W-2 employees, and some of them are employees of their own company, like as an S corporation, right? So we process the payroll reports or the statements that are from a third party payroll servicer, but we are not going to take on the liability of actually calculating payroll, for all the different states and all of that and keeping up with all of that, right? I mean, it's just not worth it for us. We don't pay bills, cut checks. We don't send invoices. We don't input bills into QuickBooks. That's totally on their, in-house team. We don't perform any property management task or assistant type tasks, like virtual assistant type tasks. So we've been, asked to do kind of everything under the sun that a real estate investor or small business, would ask us to do. A lot of property management tasks, a lot of assistant type tasks. Our clients they don't purposefully, ask us to do a property management task, but it just kind of comes up naturally and they don't even really realize what they're asking us to do. And so we make it very clear that, this isn't a property manager's wheelhouse, or this is like a virtual assistant or personal assistant task. So we don't really do that. We stick to the books. It's taken a while to kind of dial in what we do offer. And it's ever evolving, right? As we continue to grow, I'm sure we'll add in some things. But in the very beginning, when I was by myself, I tried to offer everything under the sun, right? Just to bring in business, like, 20 different services that we offer, all the things in the fractional CFO side, all the things in the bookkeeping side. And you can offer all the things that you're comfortable with, right? But when we're talking about real estate investors and we're talking specifically about accounts payable and accounts receivable management, and calculating payroll and that sort of thing. So between them paying their team members, so their organic team, paying their contractors, which is can be a super long list depending on what all they're involved in, and then all the transactions between them and their tenants on a monthly basis if they own rentals. It's just not realistic for us to perform that service, to manage their accounts payable, accounts receivable, receive bills, send out invoices. It's not super realistic. There's usually, with the average investor that we're going to take on, there's usually way too much activity to be able to offer those services. The amount of work on the client's end to get us all that documentation and information to be able to send out invoices, collect all the bills, pay all the bills, all that stuff. It's honestly just more efficient if they have an in-house, organic team member conduct those activities. Our average client probably has 4 different entities, right? Some have more, some have less. And usually there's each of those entities is really a different business with different business activities. Maybe there's passive income, maybe there's active income. There's a lot going on. So way too much going on for, us to be keeping up with. One of the questions we ask on our discovery calls when we're vetting the prospect to see if they're a good fit for us and if we're a good fit for them, is are they looking for a person to communicate with every single day like an employee? And so if they answer yes to that question, then we can stop the call right there. Like we're not a good fit for them. They're not a good fit for us. We may recommend them to someone else, or we may just tell them, like, it sounds like you want an employee to kind of bring into your systems and processes, and you want to communicate with them every single day, Monday through Friday. Like, you should hire an employee. Moral story, it's just not worth it for us to offer accounts payable, accounts receivable, and all those other services as well, at least for right now. But especially the bill pay and that sort of thing, it's just not worth it for us. And it wouldn't be worth it for our clients to pay us what they would need to pay us for us to do those services, if that makes sense too. Okay. They could pay an in-house person like much cheaper to conduct those services. On the other side of this, I had the vision to scale this business, right? So even as I started to build out our team in preparation to take on more clients and to scale the business, I was still offering way too many services, specifically fractional CFO services, way too many different offerings, and pretty much all the offerings I had to personally conduct to be able to offer it to our clients. So that's definitely a mistake if you are looking to eventually kind of remove yourself from the operational side of the business, and just focus on growing the business, scaling the business, more CEO type task. So if that's what you're looking to do, you as the business owner, if you're the one doing the thing in your business, you don't quite have a business yet, you have a job. So I hope that makes sense. And I don't mean that to be offensive at all, but that's what it is. If you're doing the thing in your business, you have a bookkeeping business, you're doing bookkeeping for clients, you really have a job more so than a business quite yet. Okay. So if it's your plan to scale and kind of scale yourself out of doing the thing in the business, then you need to hire a team and obviously build that team out, train everybody up to do whatever your business does, right? Now, if you want to remain if that's your happy place, doing the bookkeeping and whatever else your business offers and all that, then that's awesome. Just do that. And then the way you're going to scale your business is you're just going to scale your business to your maximum amount of time and energy, since you're doing the service. And then that's your happy place. That's awesome. And I don't know if any of you have heard of Alex Hormozi, but he had one line in I think a sales talk he was doing that I saw. And so he said, one product, one avatar, one channel. If you have multiple businesses and you're under 7 figures a year, stop. More businesses clearly aren't making you more money. Okay. So, we don't necessarily need to look at 7 figures, or we could be looking at 7 figures, but you can replace that with, especially when you're first getting started, with 6 figures. So if you're not doing at least 6 figures, maybe scale back on what you're offering. Just get really good at, 1 or 2 offerings and offer that to a very specific avatar, which it's the real estate investor, but it's a very specific real estate investor that fits inside of our box. Okay. And then one channel he's getting at, just a marketing channel. So I have, you guys know I have another video on kind of our different lead funnels and marketing channels. So yeah, if you guys don't know who he is, definitely look him up. And he's got some really good stuff for entrepreneurs and small businesses and that sort of thing. Really good nuggets. So what all that ultimately translates to is less time and energy on your part and more production, right? And then it's also going to be better for your clients, the fewer services that you offer, and you're really good at what you offer, right? And also may even be cheaper for your clients if they have, the things that need to be in-house. Don't be shy about telling your clients that it's your opinion that those things should be in-house. Okay, on the third side of this and the final side, so Ben Day did one of his classes in the Bookkeeper Launch program. It talked about internal controls that need to be in place to be able to offer accounts payable, accounts receivable management. Okay, so there's a list of them. I don't know them off the top of my head, but there's a lot of internal controls that need to be in place between you and the business owner, and then between the business owner and their team, their other team members, and all that, right? So if you're going to offer these types of services, just know the liability kind of shifts. There's some liability shifts to you and your business, right? Some more liability. So for us, I don't see that liability as being worth the pay that we would get, or the pay we would get worth the amount of liability, right? So that's another reason we don't offer it. So what we do is we alert our clients of the internal controls that they need to have in place and that their team needs to operate within, to manage their accounts payable and accounts receivable. But none of that liability is on us because we are not managing it. We just tell them, here's some pro tips, be safe, be careful. Once it's all done, we will record what needs to be recorded on your books. But there's some separation there between us doing the books and them handling everything else. So there's a very obvious separation there. And so the way we do things has internal controls built into it. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. If you have a wonderful week.